Hello and welcome back to another tribute to YouTube Orchid All-Stars. And today's video is from a person that I'm sure we all know. Well, most of us know. If you are from the 5-6-year-old generation of YouTube Orchid viewers, you will know this person. And really, the other thing really, more than all, was that she bought specimen-sized plants. They were huge. I mean, I couldn't imagine seeing her plants and thinking that I would ever have plants like that, because I could never have plants. So when I first started watching this person, I was very impressed by just her knowledge, her growing ability. She had unlimited resources, almost spoiled to a degree. I don't want to say privileged. It seemed like she had a very carefree attitude about her collection, her plants. She loved her plants. Don't get me wrong. So yeah, I idolized this person, wanted what she had, wanted a greenhouse like she had, and, you know, she had it made. She did it well. She was huge. But somewhere along the way, she disappeared, and then she came back, and she might as well have stayed gone, really. Seems like a little bit, I don't know, San Francisco just... So yeah, I idolized this person. As I was saying, San Francisco just ain't for everybody, you know. The Mission ain't a place you want to be. I'm telling you right now, do not even drive through and look. You'll cry. You'll quit buying orchids, or you'll think every orchid is precious. And I might end up over there one day, without a doubt. As I was saying, all right, so let's just be positive and let's look at the happy side of this person and not how it ended up. I'll just leave it at that, and let's remember back on the superstar, the all-star, as they were. Thanks for watching.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for 13 subscribers. I know it's such a small number, but I get really excited. So, 13 subscribers and 11 of those are not my family. So, that's actually really good. Anyway, if only Mr. Calvin here could subscribe, I would have 14 subscribers, right? So today I wanted to show you my greenhouse. It's an indoors greenhouse. It actually was meant to be for the backyard, but it's very cold outside and I didn't want to leave it outside where I would have to provide heat for it. So I decided, since I don't have any furniture, I might as well just keep it on the corner of my house. As you can see, it's a little tight. There's my fireplace right there. So I can't use my fireplace anymore, but that's okay. It's only temporary. I just wanted to show you my setup. This greenhouse doesn't have a base for it, so I just got a carpet and then I leave it at the bottom so my floor doesn't get ruined. My floor is new and it's laminate, so any moisture that's on it will definitely ruin it. This greenhouse has 12 shelves. I took one out in the middle just so I could put my Cymbidiums in there. The Cymbidiums are too tall for one of the shelves, so they're taking up the space of 2 shelves. Over here is the 2 shelves, and then over here the 3 shelves. It has a cover that I put up. Usually I put this cover up just to give it a little bit of fresh air. When I leave the house to go to work, I do put it down. It's great at keeping the humidity in. So I'm just gonna show you my humidity gauge right now. It's pretty low because I have the cover up. When I put the cover down or the door down, it gets into about 75, which is really great. I'm just gonna show you my little setup. Right here in the middle is where I have my shelf with a bunch of random things that I use for the greenhouse. I also have a little fan here. It's attached to a timer. It turns on every 3 hours for about 15 minutes just to keep the air circulating in here. So far, I haven't had any issues with bacteria infection due to too much humidity, except for one time when I put my plants right on top of a humidifier. So you can see I don't have a humidifier in this greenhouse anymore. It's doing well in terms of humidity, so I don't have to worry too much about it, and the humidifier actually was creating more problems for me than it was worth. So here are my plants. I have my Cymbidiums here, and then the just random plants here. My blooming plants are also on the top because they get a little too tall. So these are some Dendrobiums, my mounted Oncidium, and my Phalaenopsis. Most of them are in spike or in bloom. Over here I also have taller plants or plants that are in bloom, Phalaenopsis, Oncidiums, and my mounted Phalaenopsis Dendrobium in the back. And down here are plants that are a little bit shorter so they can fit into this area, and also Paphiopedilums that don't need as much light. And then just bottom here I have some space. I'm going to fill it up pretty soon, but these are mostly my problem orchid. That one right there doesn't have any roots, it fell off of that. And there's my Paphiopedilum right here. I'm just gonna show you the setup, the light setup that I have. It's not ideal. I want to have more bright lights in here, but because of the fact that I'm just starting out and I'm just kind of experimenting with them, so I'm still probably making some mistakes. But over here, I have this socket adapter that I attach to this light, or this socket, and it allows me to have 4 light bulbs. I use all LED bulbs in here, by the way, just to save on energy, because I have 9 bulbs in here altogether, and it gets to be too much in terms of electricity if I don't use LED bulbs. I believe that each of these bulbs are 9 watts each, and this one is an LED bulb. This one is an LED, but it's a grow light, so it has blue and red wavelengths, and that's the only wavelengths that this one emits. So you can see mixed together, it's kind of purple. I'm experimenting with this light bulb, this grow bulb, because I read a lot of good reviews for it. And the good thing about these grow bulbs is that you don't have to put it right on top of the plant. It's probably better if you put it right on top, but because I have such a huge area to cover, that I have to hang it probably about 14 inches from my plants. And I do the same for this one that's hanging down here. So this one's for these orchids on the side, and I have 4 of these that are hanging down, and one of them is the grow bulb, and one of them is just a regular LED bulb. And in the front is the same, as you can see. there's the grow bulb. On this side, the same setup. I have one grow bulb and one regular bulb. I actually wanted to use all grow bulbs because I think it would work a lot better. However, the the blue and red wavelengths mixed together, they're actually not good for the eye. It's kind of harsh on it. As long as I don't stare into it, it's okay. However, I do have cats and I don't want them to, just sit there and stare at the light forever for the whole day. They're probably not going to do that. I'm just being crazy. But still, it's harsh on the eyes, so that's why I have these regular bulbs in here mixed with it just to diffuse it a little bit. In the future, I think I might just change it all to grow bulbs because I think that it is efficient and it does have really good ratings and people have said a lot of good things about it. And over here, just a little setup for my Cymbidium. They need a lot of light. Unfortunately, they can't sit at the top where they have more light. So I'm still experimenting and trying to figure out what they need and what I need to provide for them. So far, I haven't had any orchids that have showed signs of not having enough light, but it's only been about probably like 3 weeks since I've had this setup, so we're just gonna have to wait and see and then figure out if what I'm doing is right or if I need to change it up a little bit. So I mean, that is really all for my greenhouse. It's kind of weird in this corner, so it's kind of destroying my decoration and everything, but I don't have a lot of guests over, so it's okay. Thank you guys for subscribing, and if you'd like to see more videos of this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and leave me any comments that you would like in the comment box. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Okay, this is a Phalaenopsis Orchid. Full size. I got it for $10. She's white with a tinge of purple, and then she's got these purple spots, more of a caramel lip, and then she's got streaks right here on the outer edges of her petals, and she's just unique, so that's the reason why I picked her up. I started with Phalaenopsis when I first started my collection, and then I went to Oncidium, Dendrobiums, and now I'm back to collecting Phalaenopsis. I don't know why, for a moment there, I didn't really like them, and now I like them. Maybe it's because it's really hard for me to find other orchids like Dendrobiums, Cattleyas, and whatnot. And now when I go and look at the Phalaenopsis, I usually try to pick something that I don't have and that I'm willing to pay for. And usually these, I don't find them in stores a lot of the time. Yeah, she is potted in moss, and all of the orchids that I get here where I live is always in moss. I don't know why. It's either in sphagnum moss or it's in this green moss. They look so bad, so I'm gonna repot her today actually. And this is the Cattleya Fire Dance Patricia. I don't think this is a registered hybrid, but I'll have to check. But this one is a mini Cattleya. She's got really plump pseudobulbs right there. It's really fat. Look how cute that is. It's like a plump little thing. And she's got four actually. 4 orange flowers. My first orange orchid. And that one is about to bloom. Hasn't bloomed all the way yet. But I'm also going to repot her today as well. So, yeah. Look at that. Her roots are doing okay. She's potted in...
Hello everyone, it's Baotran. So my greenhouse is almost done. I think I could call it done actually. I'm not sure what my dad is building right here. It looks like some sort of chicken coop or kitty coop. But I wanted to show you just what my greenhouse looks like right now. I think we're just going to be putting in the misting system, and I'm going to be installing some fans, but that's pretty much it. So let's go in. It's really simple. The door is actually made by pieces of polycarbonate that was left over from all the other stuff that we did. So you can see how my dad attached the different pieces of smaller polycarbonate together like so. And let's go in here. So I've shown you guys, it's really echoing in here. I've shown you guys the frame already. So we're going to be installing a misting system down the middle here. And I think my dad is going to be installing bars across from the left to the right, just so I could hang orchids. The ones that I have already hanging, I'm going to be hanging them across like so. And he actually made the window for me. We save a lot of money by making our own windows. It's not nice like the other, like if you just buy your own windows, but it works, and that's just great for me. And like I said, we use the sort of like wavy polycarbonate here. The reason why is because the other straight or flat polycarbonate was, of course, too expensive. So let's get a better look at the shelves right here. I only have 2 shelves going. I'm sorry about the darkness. The sun is coming from that way, but we only have 2 shelves here right now. And I'm using an old closet shelf, and I also bought a 16-inch shelf right here. This thing, the way that we have it set up, I can actually move this, so I can adjust my shelf height, and it's a little bit more expensive, but it allows me to adjust it any way that I want, and I can also buy more shelves and add it however many that I want. I will probably be putting a fan up there, and also at the same place in the back as well, so I'm gonna have 2 fans. It's kind of warm in here right now because it's really hot outside, and when it was 100 degrees outside, of course in here it felt like it was 115 or more. So there's a large difference in temperature, which obviously it's great for the winter. I'm hoping that I won't have to use the heater so much, but we will see how it goes. So right now, that's all I have. I haven't moved any of my plants in because it's so hot and the weather changes very often. Oh no. That's a monster. That's the orange monster. So that's pretty much it. Maybe the monster can live in here as well. Keeps him warm at night. Who knows? Right, monster? Well, that's really much it. I just wanted to show you my complete greenhouse. Say bye, monster. Bye.
3, 2, 1, go!
To the San Francisco Orchid Exposition, and I met some of you guys there, which is super awesome. I met Alvin, and he said, I watched your channel, or I watched your YouTube, and I was so honored because I was like, wow, I never knew people knew me. So that was really great. And then I met Isis from Isis Orchids, and if you guys have not seen her channel, you definitely should check it out. I will put a link probably up here somewhere in the cards section. She's so awesome, and unfortunately I had a whole bunch of stuff with me, so I couldn't really stop and talk to her for a while. So I purchased a whole bunch of orchids, and hopefully my dad isn't gonna watch this video. Anyway, but since I'm going to, this show only happens once a year, I figure I just buy some. I did see SVO or Sunset Valley Orchids there, and unfortunately he did not have any catasetums at all unless they were pre-ordered which was so sad because I was so looking forward to his catasetums, but all he had were a whole bunch of cattleyas. I'm going to show you guys my orchids, and I'm going to take the camera off because I don't want you guys to have to stare at my face the entire time. It's nothing interesting, but I wanted to show you guys my orchids, so let's get started.
I wanted you guys to see the extent of the damage I made in my wallet. I did save all my Christmas and New Year's money for it, so I did spend that and a little bit more. So first of all, I picked up a whole bunch of these pots. They are the slotted pots from Cal West Tropical, and they are 5 inches across in diameter. I really like these pots. They are very sturdy and thick, and they are slotted on the side, and also they have really big holes at the bottom. This is actually from Carmella Orchids, and you guys know that Carmella Orchids has a lot of cattleyas and dendrobiums and so forth. Usually they are Mariclones. I got a whole bunch of them because I thought, well, why not? They are pretty, and some of them, actually I do believe half of the ones that I got are fragrant. So here's the first one, the BLC Golf Green Hair Pig. This one has fuzzy wuzzy lip, and it is green. It has a green flower. I got 2 of them, and I'm thinking about doing a giveaway at some point when the weather gets better for most people. This one is an LC Purple Cascade Shang Beauty, and as the name says, it will be more of a purple color. And this one is a BLC Waiania Leopard Xinhua. I'm guessing this is Hawaiian. I think these were like $5 for $20, and for some reason I picked up 6 because I couldn't count. I'm not sure why. So I paid like a little bit extra for my 6th one. This is a BLC Hawaii Stars Pink Lace. A lot of the ones that I picked up are just really cute, and I like the way they look. Some of them I picked because they're fragrant, and I smelled them and they're just so cute and nicely scented. The flower, but this is from Andy's Orchid, and I'm not gonna say that name, but I will put it on the screen for you. And this one is mounted. It needs to be watered like as soon as possible, but it has the cutest cascading little tiny pink, purple, white flowers ever, and I saw it, and for some reason it reminds me of home. And thank you to my sister who found the name, because the one that was on display had no name. And thank you to Jackie Fu, who helped me locate this particular orchid, because I mean, it really looks different when they're being sold like that as opposed to the one that are on display. Actually, I didn't purchase this. Jackie gave it to me. I gave her a what is it? The Hachara Delight. And mine is about like 2 years old, and it's probably gonna bloom hopefully soon for her. But she dropped these off for me, and this is she dropped off 2 Vindacious one for me. It is awesome, and like this one has a ton of sun, and I actually don't mind my Vandas having that red tinge from having a lot of sun. I love it when my orchids get that red tinge from having a lot of sun on my own. So I got myself this one, and I got one for my coworker, and she is just starting out, and there are some damage on the leaves as well, but overall it's a pretty good plant. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 flower spikes, with one of them having a like secondary spike over here. And look at all of these. Let's move on to this one. This one my mom purchased for me, and I'm so excited about it because she actually was gonna buy me a Dendrobium. How cute it is, and I have to thank On for helping me get a $3 discount on this one, even though he probably should have like knocked it down a little bit further. This one is a Phalaenopsis. Whoops, there's like nothing there. Macassar. This is actually a primary hybrid between two species. And I can already tell that it has some snails in there. I did see a bush snail, one bush snail, but there's actually quite a few evidence of snails in there, of all the snail paths that they were taking. Unfortunately, it will have to be repotted, and there are some damage on the leaves as well, but overall it's a pretty good plant. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 flower spikes, with one of them having a like secondary spike over here. And look at all of these. Let's move on to this one. This one my mom purchased for me, and I'm so excited about it because she actually was gonna buy me a Dendrobium. I can't remember. It might have been like a speciosum, but it's a variation of that. However, I already have like the white version of that, so I didn't want to get that one too. She likes the cascading flowers, so I decided I really wanted a Cymbidium, and this one is the Cymbidium Ice Cascade. I did damage this flower. I damaged a lot of things apparently, but it has 3 flower spikes. And this is what my mom's picked for me, so it's like pretty awesome, and it has a fragrance. They haven't completely opened up yet, but I'll show you my damaged flower. It is more of like a whitish green with a tiny tinge of pink in the lip, and it's very not visible. You can barely tell that it's there. This one, oh my gosh, it's so adorable. Oh my god, did I lose the tag? No, I didn't. I really like this orchid, and this is my first one from this genera. I was gonna say genre, I don't know why. It's like in a book or something. It has white flowers, and dang, I damaged the flowers too, seriously. I damaged the flowers on all of them. This one has a fragrance to it, and it is so gorgeous. It's beautiful. Look at the beautiful flowers. Just so absolutely stunning, and it has a fragrance. This one is one of my favorites that I purchased this year. And next up we have the Cattleya guttata. I don't know why I just said that. I got this actually as a part of from the San Francisco Society's table, I believe. It is not in spike or in bloom, but it is really huge. Next up, this was actually on my wish list. For some reason, I only got one orchid on my wish list because I couldn't find anything else. But this is the Sanhopia Tigrina Predator. I've always wanted a Psychopsis, but I have never had any of them, and I've been thinking about ordering on eBay, but I finally found one, and this is a Mariposa variation Alba, and it's yellow, I know, but it is really called the Alba one. So this one, I got it initially. I was gonna get it for my coworker, but her budget was like $30, and you guys know that with orchid budgets at $35 or at $30 is like impossible to get anything at orchid shows. But I decided that I was gonna get her the Shirleyana because I think that it is more up her alley and it is easier to take care of, and the paths just take a long time, and I think that people just don't have the patience for them if they're not serious about them. I do love this gorgeous beautiful yellow color, and I probably could have gotten it for a lot cheaper at another place, but I don't know, I guess I didn't really check. But it has a fuzzy wuzzy little backside. It is so soft, like peach fuzz. Ooh, peach fuzz. Okay. And it has a bud down below that is starting to develop and open already. And this plant is actually from the Tiny Jungle, which honestly I think that they are so sweet. There's a lady I talked to and she was just so adorable and so sweet, and she helped me with a lot of things, so I really appreciate it. I like the small businesses that are very nice about everything. This is one of those Epidendrum. Oh my gosh, did I not get a tag for it? Yeah, I did not get a tag for it. That really sucks. But this is from Carmella Orchids, so I'm pretty sure I can track it down. I really do love the red orchid, and with the yellow right here at the lid is like so tiny, just a small amount, but they are really adorable, and I've always wanted something like this. I do believe this is an epidendrum, but I'm gonna have to check the name for you guys because I don't have a tag for it. That is just so strange. I didn't check. This is the Den Mini Snowflake. So this one is just super cute. There's no fragrance on it or anything, but it is really adorable, and I love the cascade of white flowers. That's just so super duper simple. I mean, there's no spots, there's no nothing, but it's so simple and so adorable and very classy as well. So next up, I just have a very plain Dendrobium Phalaenopsis, and this one I like it because it has green flowers. So this is the Dendrobium Genting Royal. When I was holding the tag, I was like, where's the name? Okay, yeah, I was covering it. Just really simple, but I adore it. It's very cute. So I got this one from also Carmella, and look at how bushy this one is. This is a Den. I just can't remember. I hope I have a tag on this. Oh, I do. Oh, I broke off another flower. So this is the Den Spring Bird Kurashiki. So it has a very light yellow color, yellow blooms, and I got the one that's actually not even in bloom yet. It's just in spike and in bud. This one is starting to open up, but I broke off like so many flower spikes, it's not even funny anymore. This is the Dendrobium Tani, or Tani. I have a white variation of this, but mine did not bloom this year, unfortunately, and mine's a lot bigger than this. So it could have been for several reasons, and I partly think it's my fault. And this is a pink version. It's really adorable, and they do stay pretty small, like so. I think they just get bushier, but not any taller. And mine's pretty old too, and it stays like seriously that compact. It's very cute. This one is also from H&R. This one is a Cattleya violacea semi-alba. This Dendrobium I actually got from Napa Valley Orchids, and I have nothing but good things to say about the lady who sells orchids there. She is so sweet, and she's just a lot nicer than some people that I met at the show who were selling stuff, so I do have to give her lots of kudos for being super nice to me, and she was so easy to talk to. This one was like $10 cheaper than all the other ones, because all the other ones had leaves still there, and this was the only one that she said she kind of left out in the cold for a little bit too long, and it lost all of its leaves, so she sold it for $10 cheaper, which I don't mind at all, because you know, it's not like it's dying or anything. It is the type that do lose their leaves, so it's not too bad, and I have absolutely no leaves. So for other people who might not know about this, they might be thinking, oh, I should get one with leaves, but I don't want to spend $10 for something with leaves when it's totally normal for them not to have any. And this one is in bloom. It's gorgeous. There's no scent that I could detect as of right now. but it is really beautiful, and it actually is, it has a lot more roots than the ones that she was selling for more expensive but with leaves. And this one is actually bigger. It has more canes, it's bigger, and it has a ton more roots than the other ones. So to me, it's all good. The roots are really important. She was also selling this one, which I absolutely love. I'm not sure if I'm going to mount it or not. I have a problem with mounted orchids because it gets really hot in the summer, and I just can't ever like keep them happy. But this one would do so well mounted. You can see that it just has very thin canes that cascades downwards. Oh my gosh, this would be so beautiful mounted. I will probably consider mounting it just because I can't see it being potted up. So I'll probably have to do my very best to water it all the time, but we will see what happens. It has several, I think it has 2 keikis on it. There's one right there, which I think one of the keikis is blooming. Yeah, there's one right here. 2 of the keikis are blooming, and one is right here. I also got a Tolumnia. So Tin Shin was selling this for actually, I think about, yeah, $10, and they were a lot cheaper than the other place that I went to. But they only had like one color. And last but not least, I think I went over everything. Last but not least, I got myself a Peony. So I initially was going to go back for a few more, and then I completely forgot. Our Peony Formosana. I picked the one with 3 growths on it, so this one needs to be potted up as well. But yeah, I really like these, and I thought I would give them a try. I think they were like $7 or $8. I think they were $8. On eBay, they sell it for that amount, and then they throw you like $10 for shipping. It's like ridiculous for this little bulb. So now you guys know the extent of the damage that I have made in my wallet with all these purchases. If you guys would like to follow me on Facebook, I will have a link in the description. I have post a lot of things that I normally do not post on my videos just because I don't have time to post every single thing or to make a video of every single thing. But yeah, just follow me on Facebook and keep in contact with me. Alright, and we thought we would visit some nurseries, and it turned into quite a few nurseries. So we wanted to show you guys all the things that we purchased. We kind of organized everything by nurseries, and then I will separate each portion of the video into different nurseries to show you guys what we got. So the first nursery that we went to is I believe it's called Lincoln Nursery. It is one in Pasadena. It was close to where we were staying the first few nights that we were there. So we picked up, first of all, the hibiscus, which doesn't look quite so good, but I've always liked the hibiscus, and I thought I would get a pink one to start out with. This one actually had quite a few bugs in it, and unfortunately it stayed inside my car for a super long time, so all the bugs were crawling all over the place. It doesn't look good because it was in the car for, I think, like 5 days or so, and we didn't really water it. We couldn't. It was very, very hot. We tried to roll down the window, but hopefully this one will bounce back. I'm not sure. Either that or it's going to its death right now. And next up, we just got some succulents because we focused more on the succulents only because they actually didn't have that many orchid places. In fact, they were all about cactus, succulents, whatever, like all of these plants. So some of them will have labels and some will not. Here is the first plant. This is something that my sister picked up. This is the Andromiscus Felicalis, and it should have pink flowers. So this one fell off, and this one is still in bloom. It actually looks really cute. And I don't know whether this one has a name. No, it doesn't. And if I find a name, I'll put it up on the screen. This one looks really cool because it looks like it's actually covered with a little bit of paper, but it's not. That's just how it is. And you can actually peel off these white layers. It's like an onion layer. This one doesn't have a label either, but we just got them because it looks variegated, as you can see on the main plant. And then all of these babies are coming out. This is one that my sister picked up, and she really likes this. It's just a pattern. It goes straight up. And I think we actually left this place because I was really cheap, and I thought, oh, we could go somewhere and maybe find something a little bit cheaper. So we actually went back for some of these plants. So this is a plant that we went back for. We picked up this one as well. This is the Euphorbia Millii Dwarf Apache. This is a crown of thorns. I love the tag on this because it really describes pretty much everything that you need to know. And we squish it when we put some stuff on top of it, but it has really pretty red flowers. And it's gonna look pretty short. So you can see on the side, it just looks short like that. And there's quite a few branches that are coming out. This is called the Silver Mound, and I thought this would be really great for a ground cover because it's so super soft. So when you feel it is super soft, it's just that it was in heat and it wasn't watered for a week, and it looks like it's starting to die off. So hopefully after I water it, it'll be okay. So this next haul comes from Francis Cactus Succulents, and this, we thought it was going to be a big place, but it actually error where I just grew stuff, and then if they died, then I learned from it. And a lot of the time that is exactly what you have to do, especially when growing orchids. You just kind of have to grow them and then figure out which ones work for you and how you can adjust the environment, or how they can adjust to your environment. So lately I have stopped purchasing just any plant that I like, but I actually started buying or putting more money into quality plants, or plants that I feel like I can grow, that I will like for a long time. But I think I just started to purchase more plants that I felt like I was going to like in the future, or that they added something to my collection overall, like in terms of quality, not so much quantity anymore. So I bought less, but I just put more money into things that I really want. So after all that yakking, I'll show you guys what I got. This plant is actually not an orchid. So this is a Nepenthes, and I have been looking for a, like, why they named certain things that way. They like to name things that are kind of cool, so then that way when they cross certain things, they know, or they cross certain plants, they know which parent it's from. So the official name is Nepenthes truncata crossed with truncata. But of course, like, this plant is really small. It's just a baby plant. But see how small the leaves are and how big the picture is compared to the leaf? This plant is going to have pictures that are about this big. So it's really big. And I asked the guy to also pick a plant for me because a lot of their plants that they have were kind of similar to each other, but I wanted his opinion on which one he felt was the best, especially when he works there. And he picked this one for me, and he said that a lot of the other plants, the pictures are more green, but this one actually has a little bit of red on top of it. I don't know if you can see that. So see this red that's on top of that? A lot of these crosses don't have that red on it. This is exactly what I'm looking for. It was very expensive, by the way. I don't want to say how much it costs because I'm like, you know, it was really expensive for such a small plant. And these, since they get so big, that they're actually better for greenhouse for me, so I can actually see what they look like. But this one is a Phragmipedium sedenii, and this one is going to have pink flowers. And see how big the leaf span is? It's going to be pretty cool. So this one was actually purchased from a seller that I purchased a few of my frags from last year, and my frags that I got from him, and also some of the other non-frags that I got from him grew, and they look wonderful. They're very healthy plants. They have blooms for me. So one of my frags that I got from him last year, he grew it from flask, and mine is actually mine is this tall. The leaf is just a little bit different, so it's not as long, but they're very healthy plants. And he had some great insights for me, and some great tips for me in terms of how to keep the tips from browning. So he said that the tips get brown because there's not enough water. So with frags, you want to water them a lot. They like to have a lot of water, and also it's important to have calcium as well. So I'm gonna go online and buy some calcium. He recommended CalMag, and so those things you can add to your orchid. So when you add it to your Phragmipedium, you can tell that the new growth, if they have enough calcium, the leaves on the new growth will stand taller. When you have leaves that are very wilty or wilting, or just kind of weak in general, that's because there's not enough calcium. And another orchid that I got from him is the Phragmipedium Living Fire. The reason I bought this one is because it's just a fiery orange color, and I really like the yellow orange in it. And I think these are photos from his own collection, so it's always good to, I don't know, I just find that when there are photos from the seller's collection, that it's better than just a photo from online, because then you know that they have grown this and they've bloomed it. This one, I picked a bigger one. Oh my god. The name has escaped me because the tag broke off. Oh, there it is. Sort of the tag. I will put the name on the screen. So some of the tag completely broke off. So there were two of them there, and this one was just bigger, so I picked this one. And there's a new leaf that's coming in the middle as well. So this one has really pretty flowers. I looked it up when I was there, and it's always good to, if you have a smartphone, I think almost everyone has a smartphone now, but if you have a smartphone, I would recommend like going to these shows, and then if you see a name, just look it up, so then that way you know what the flowers look like. Sometimes it's hard to describe them, but if you know exactly what the flower looks like, it's always good to know what you're getting. This is the Path Saint Swithin, and this one is super duper huge, and I think this one was $60. It's in really good condition, and I actually did a little bit of a lookup on the pricing. I went to another vendor, and he had his in bloom, and it was actually smaller than this, but his was, I believe, $95. So I got a pretty good deal for a plant that's not in bloom, and I don't really have a problem with non-blooming plants because they usually go for cheaper, especially at shows. The ones that are in bloom are usually, they'll charge a lot more for it. I'm really happy with this one. Such good leaves. Look at how big the leaves are, and they're firm, really big. Okay, last but not least, this is actually my most expensive orchid. This is even more expensive than the Nepenthes. Ta-da! It's tiny. Look at how tiny it is. And it's not even a species. It's the Fumi's Delight. And I just want to show you guys how tiny that plant is. Super small. Only one growth. The reason why this plant is just so expensive is because it has great form. The plant is also in pretty awesome condition. The ice cream man is here. Which is pretty funny because I just actually, right after I did the shoot for, or the snippet for the last orchid, I went and had some ice cream because I needed an ice cream break. And then I came back and filmed the last portion of this video for this one. So it's ice cream season, you guys. I actually have four quarts of ice cream in my freezer. I went and bought ice cream after I went to the orchid show. So ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. I ate ice cream for lunch, I ate ice cream for dinner. They're really bad, just ice cream all the time. Every single day is ice cream. And then I put whipped cream on top of that, and I bought like a tub of Cool Whip, and then I just ate Cool Whip, sometimes frozen. That was really good too. Sorry, how did we get here? So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and hopefully some of you guys are still subscribed. I will see you guys on the next video. I actually have a Nepenthes video coming up, so watch out for that one as well. Bye.
That one's just, yeah, it has one leaf. It's been having one leaf. I did a cutting and now it's only growing on one side. But at least it's still alive and it's doing very well. I have my shooting star Hoya up here, which I killed 3 of them already. And that's from lack of watering. You should really water your Hoyas. And because they're hanging kind of high up, it is easier to kill them. So you can see that this one is just dead. That one's just, yeah, it has one leaf. It's been having one leaf. It's my brain. Not good. So let's see, over here I have some orchids, and you know what, I'm just not particularly fond of these orchids anymore. I mean, I just kind of got over them, and at this point, I mean, they're still alive, but I'm just not sure whether I would keep them or not. I might not like shedding tears when they're gone. Let's just say that, I guess. And my dendrobiums up here are not doing particularly well. Of course, I mean, this is all due to neglect. I have some that are blooming, but they're not as good as I would have liked. And the dendrobiums are easier to grow, so I might go back and save some of these, but you can see that they're just really sad looking, and I mean, it is seriously like partly my fault. And then I have some plants here. So these are the true Christmas cactus that I you know what, this year they're not doing that well. Everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to show you guys the sad state of my greenhouse. I haven't done a greenhouse update in a really long time, and that is because I actually took a break from growing plants mostly, and I actually neglected all of my plants, which is why the greenhouse is in a very, very sad state. Now, I actually cleaned up in here, so I am just kind of showing you just like how's empty, not like completely empty, but it looks so different right now. There's not as many plants. I think half of my plants died, and it was just something that was out of my control. I really couldn't do anything about it, and I want to get back into growing plants and growing orchids. So unfortunately, because of COVID, there's not a lot of plant shows, and so I'm having to go to like local nurseries that don't have a lot of, you know, like special plants or unique plants that I want. So I'm just gonna show you guys a little bit of what's going on, actually probably a lot of what's going on. So I added this evaporative cooler in here, and actually I started adding it last year. I do have I got a new fan actually because my other fan kind of broke down, and this one is actually really powerful. It's a little bit too powerful. Even on like the lowest setting, it's very, very powerful. And I actually have it hooked up to my Alexa, so an Alexa plug, so then that way I can set when it turns on and off, and then I can also control it when I'm away from home, which is a lot better than like always having to have my dad come over and open the door and turn on the fan for me. So he still has to open the door, but it's just another automated thing I'm doing. So my catasetums are not doing so great, and I'm gonna show you guys a lot of my dead plants. And seriously, I stopped taking care of them for about 2 years. I mean, sometimes my dad would like come in and water them, but it was a really hard time for me. I just had really like bad like personal stuff that were going on, so the plants were just not a priority at that point. But this shelf actually fell down because I just had so many plants on it. My dad put it together again for me. He's so great, and he pretty much like does like 50% of the work in here. I actually got rid of a whole bunch of plants because they were all dead. I mean, they got rid of themselves basically. And so this shelf, I kind of created an area where sort of new plants would come in. So what I do is whenever I purchase new plants, I would leave it inside my house sort of for quarantine, you know, like a specific amount of time. And then once they're out of quarantine, I would either repot them or just put them here in this area. And so this is like the second quarantine stage, but not really quarantine. I mean, just a place where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put them here, they can acclimate, and then I would move them to a spot that they like a spot that I would want them to permanently be in. So I have some Hoyas that I acquired here, and that is a new growth right there. That's so awesome. And then I actually acquired some replacement plants because killed them. So this Hoya is actually really rare, and I actually have tags that I created for some of my newer plants. and of course I can't even remember the name of all these plants because I created the labels like a lot later after I got the plant, so I'm just like a really bad grower at this point. I'm just like throwing stuff in. I don't even care anymore. This is from my sister, and it's just the spider plants that she grew from a little baby. And then I actually got her this one. This is the Crassula Buddha's Temple, and it's huge now. I actually got it for her when it was like tiny, and